This character stream is mainly dealing with the character. That's what you need to remember. But when it comes to the byte stream, so byte stream is mainly dealing with the bytes. Files is a place where I store a collection of bytes or a collection of characters. Input stream will read the bytes. Reader stream will read the characters. File reader and file writer classes to read and write. So 16-bit characters. Hello everyone, I welcome all of you to the next important session with respect to managing input and output files. So guys, in the last class, I have discussed a lot of important stuff with respect to the byte stream, and also I have told you that I will be discussing about the character stream in the next class. So what is that I have in this session? So let's check without wasting much of your time, guys. This is what the agenda for the day. So this is what I will be discussing in this session with all of you, right? So guys, without wasting much of your time, let's get into the session. So in the previous class, I have discussed in detail about the byte stream. So what exactly byte stream is all about? When I treat the byte stream, so what is the subclasses that I have, that is input stream and output stream? How exactly input stream is working? What exactly output stream is doing? What are the different methods that I have in the input stream? What are the different methods that I have in the output stream? All these things I have discussed in detail. But when it comes to the character streams, so please remember, when it comes to the character streams, so guys, I have two important subclass. That's going to be the reader stream class and the writer stream class. What exactly this character stream is all about? This character stream is mainly dealing with the character. That's what you need to remember. But when it comes to the byte stream, so byte stream is mainly dealing with the bytes. So now it's time for all of us to understand what exactly the reader stream is all about. So let's check. My dear students, when it comes to the reader stream, the only thing which comes to my mind is I should read, yes or no? Yes. In the same way, reader stream class is almost similar to the input stream. So input stream will also help me to read the content. Reader stream is also helping me to read the content. But what exactly both are reading is little different. That's what you need to remember. Now I'm reading. Yes, what is that you're reading? I'm reading the characters. So guys, so reader stream class is helping me to read the characters. So whatever the functionality that I had in the input stream, the same thing I have even in the reader stream, but the only difference is input stream will read the bytes, reader stream will read the characters. The same method what I have with respect to the byte stream, I even have for the reader stream is what you need to remember. Moving forward to the next one, that is going to be the writer stream. When it comes to the writer stream, so guys, I have the writer stream as a super class. Even writer stream is similar to the output stream. So if I want to print or if I want to give any content or with respect to the character, I will be using the output stream. So that is what you need to remember. And here I'm representing the hierarchy of writer stream. So what are the different files or functions or the classes that I have? So please observe. When I have the class called writer stream, I have got the subclasses like buffered writer, character array writer, filter writer. So please observe, all these things are the subclasses of this superclass is what you need to remember. So find in the same way output stream writer, pipe writer, string writer, print writer. So this is what you need to remember with respect to the writer stream. It's very simple and easy to understand. Moving forward to the next concept that I have. So guys, when it comes to the next concept, it's very important class which I have in the java.io package. So what is this? I have something called files. What exactly files is all about? When it comes to the concept of files, files is a place where I store a collection of bytes or a collection of characters, which is helpful for me to process it later. So to handle all the things with respect to the files, I have got a set of classes which will help me to handle these files. What is the classes that I have under this files? So please observe, I have got a class to create a file, open a file, close a file, and also I can rename the file, delete the file, and also I have getting the name of the file, getting the size of the file, and then checking the existence of the file. Do I have the file or not? And also checking whether the file is writable or not, and whether the file is readable or not. So for all these things, I think I have listed out all the possibilities of operations that I can do with the files. So this is the different classes that I have with respect to the files is what you need to remember. Right? Moving forward to understand the files in a much better way. So how many different types of files do you have? I have two different types of files. The first one is what I will call it as a sequential files. When it comes to the sequential files, my dear students, you need to remember one thing. Sequential in the sense one by one. What exactly one by one, sir? One by one in the sense if you are writing the data one by one, right? So one after the other, that is what I will call it as a sequential files. There are some of the files which allows you to write the data one after the other. So that is what you need to remember. Or it will allow you to read the data one after the other sequentially. But there are some files which will allow you to read and write randomly. So such files I will call it as a random access files. So this is the two different types of files that I have in Java, right? So I have some input-output exceptions. In the last chapter, I have discussed exceptions. What is exceptions? So same thing I have with respect to the files. What are the different exceptions that I will come across when I'm handling the files? So please observe, the first exception that I've got here is end of the file exception. What exactly the end of the file? So guys, signal that an end of the file or end of the stream has been reached unexpectedly during the input. You're trying to input the data, but it has reached the end of the file. There is no space in the file at that particular point of time. So you will be getting this exception. And you're trying to access the file which is not there. And that exception is what I will call it as a file not found exception. And the next exception that I have is interrupted input output exception. You're trying to put some data, but there is some interrupt to perform that operation successfully. So that's what you need to remember. And the last one that I have is input output exception. So guys, signal that an input output exception of some sort has occurred. You are trying to input some data and output some data to the file at that particular time. There is some problem. So that is what I will call it as an input-output exception whenever you are dealing with the files. This is the different exceptions that you can expect when you are dealing with respect to the files. So moving forward to the next topic that I have. Whenever you are creating a file, I have to follow, or I should have some of the basic information. So that's going to be a suitable file name. Then followed by, I should have the data type to be stored. What kind of data that you are trying to store in that particular file is what you have to mention, and followed by, you have to mention the purpose. So purpose in the sense, why are you trying to open the file? Whether you want to read the data or write the data or you want to update. So that is what you have to mention in a mode. That's what we call it as a mode, right? Followed by, you have to use the method of creation of files. So this is the most important that you need to remember whenever you are creating a file, right? So moving forward to the next content that I have, reading or writing the characters of the file. So guys, when it comes to the concept of reading and writing, so obviously we check what type of file. Obviously it's if we are dealing with the character, I will be using the character classes, that is reader and writer. If it is a byte, so obviously we use input stream and output stream. But listen to me carefully now. Sir, whenever I'm dealing with reading and writing the characters, so subclasses of reader and writer implements the stream that can handle the characters. Obviously, this is what we have discussed. We have a class called reader. So reader class will help me to read the characters, and writer class will help me to write the characters. That's what you need to remember. And when it comes to the next point, the two subclasses used for handling the characters in a files that are file reader and file writer. Please remember, I repeat the statement once again for all of you. When I have these two subclasses, This will help me to handle the characters with respect to the file. So guys, so this is very important. So file reader and file writer. What exactly this file reader and file writer? So let's discuss this in detail. Listen to me carefully. File reader and file writer classes to read and write, so 16-bit characters. Why do we use this file reader and file writer? So it helps me to read and write how many characters? 16-bit characters is what you need to remember when it comes to the file reader and file writer. So fine, but most of the file uses 8-bit bytes. So that's a most important point that you need to remember. Though you have the capacity of 16 bits, but most of the files prefers 8 bytes is what you need to remember. Moving forward to the next point, Java input output provides number of classes that handles 8-bit bytes. That's a major reason that you need to remember. Most of the classes that I have in the input output package has got the capacity to handle 8-bit bytes. So moving forward to the last point of this session, two commonly used classes for handling bytes are file input stream and file output stream. So can be used in the place of file reader and file writer. That's what you need to remember. When I'm using the file reader and file writer, it obviously performs the operation with respect to the 6-bit is what you need to remember. Is it 6-bit? No, it is 16-bit. So please be careful on that. So this is what we have in this session for all of you. By now, I have come to an end of the session. So wait for me till the next session. I have some more content. How do I handle the different data types is what I will be discussing in my next session. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.